Hi, I'm Patty Pilling, the Best Life Mom, back to you again from my comfy chair. As you know, this is like my very favorite chair, my very favorite room in the whole house. I love this room. It's delightful to me. It's usually the cleanest room in our house too, but right now, boy, I tell you, if you could see it, you would not think that. We decided to watch movies the other night, and yeah, we still haven't quite got that cleaned up. But you know what? It was a good family time, and that's what matters. So sometimes, if there's a mess around, so be it. But actually, that's not what I want to talk to you today about. I don't want to talk to you today about. I got to get more comfy. As you know, I have to kind of to change my position around here to get more comfy, so I can talk to you from my heart, talk to you from comfort, and talk to you about stress management. That's why you're here to see me, is to learn about how stress management tools I have, what's in my toolkit, so that I can help you with your stress in your life so that you can live that comfy life, that stress-free life, that life full of success and happiness, peace and calmness. I don't always like that sort of, what can I say? The way I'm not a sort of a gal. I'm more of a fun and calm kind of a gal. So if that's your style, great, stick with me. If it's not, and you need the I do a little bit of that, but I'm not too much into that. I really like to laugh and have fun and just say what's on my mind instead of trying to be somebody that perhaps I'm not. So anyways, this morning I got a phone call from a very dear friend of mine, and our oldest kids are in the same class, and they were talking about a party. You know, it's that 14, 15-year-old range and just going into high school. And so those moms that have or had those kids that in the high school age can really, really relate to me. And those that don't yet, listen up, because trust me, it's going to jump up at you. You know, I have to say my 14-year-old is a really good kid. That best life teen is one that I'm very, very proud of. I cry often. Let's ignore that. So I get a little emotional and teary over lots of silly things. So anyways, that's me, and that's part of who I am. But it did concern me, this phone call this morning, because it was about a drinking and drugs party that the kids were arranging. And as far as I know, my child isn't involved in that. He's not really into the school crowd. He has his own crowd outside of school, and they're really good kids. They all hang around. They all go to the same church as we do. They don't live in the same town, so we go to great efforts to take my son to those places. And they're not out late at night. And if they are out late at night, they're at a church dance, and that's over at 11:15. So we pick them up right after that, actually. And so, but I'm more concerned about those parents that need some help, and that perhaps are struggling with those kids that have drug and alcohol issues already in their homes. But I have to tell you, I'm frustrated. I'm really quite angry at those parents. It's their own fault. It's the parenting that's the fault. And if you don't agree with that, drop me a line, drop a comment here, and tell me why you don't think like that. I think that the parents, I called another one of my friends after I heard about this from with a dear friend. I called another one of my parents that whom Best Life Teen is getting to be quite good friends with, and they hang out with this church group and with this group of kids, and they talk about church things, but they're cool kids at the same time. They're on the basketball teams, you know. They're cute, they're muscular. Yeah, they've got it. They've got friends. They've got it together. They're, you know, and they're just talk about such different things. Anyways, and she was telling about how her son has, you know, the friends. His school friends are, you know, say, hey guy, you need to look at this pornography site, and you know what, couple of joints isn't going to hurt, you know. And then he went to this party the other day to see an old friend that had moved out of town. And when he came back, his parents had decided to throw him this party, and they brought a whole keg of beer. These kids are between 13 and 15 years old. Keg of beer. They're in grade 9 and grade 10, for heaven's sakes. And then when they all got to this house that they were doing it, the mom give all these boys shots of and we're giving them shots of whiskey. Not impressive in my eyes. Not impressive. In fact, it's against the law. As you can tell, I get a little bit it's one of my biggest pet peeves as parents, and how they think that they need to be their kid's friend all the time. I have a very good relationship with my son. I'm his friend, but first and foremost, I'm his guidance counselor. I'm his parent. I'm the one that he's going to see how we are living our lives. And my friend made another really good comment. You know, these parents that are using, you know, are drinking and doing those sort of things, how can they tell their kids not to do it? There's a lot of you that are listening to that do drink, and I'm not knocking that at all. But what's it showing to our children by doing that? Our family doesn't drink coffee either. And the other day, I was bringing my middle son, Brother Bear, to school, and he started a new school. He started in middle school, and his aide met us, and she had a coffee cup in her hand. And Brother Bear, you know, had his little arms folded and was staring at him. He's the one with autism. Was just staring at him. And he goes, and something came up about the coffee, and he looks at me, and then he looks back at her, and he knew that he shouldn't be drinking coffee, and nobody should be drinking coffee, because face it, it's not good for us. And even people that drink coffee say, I know I shouldn't be drinking this. And that's exactly what his aide said. I says, I'm sorry, Nathan sure, I'm just trying to keep some anonymity here. You know, we just don't drink coffee in our home. And so then he is just, that's why he's kind of looking at you a little oddly. And she apologized. She goes, you're right. I shouldn't be carrying this coffee cup around. And then she gave an excuse for it. But I think to myself, you know, that's what we're teaching our children. Hey, I'm not knocking people for drinking coffee either. But that's a different story again. But let's look at the way that the example we are to our children. And we get all stressed out because our children start doing things that we don't like. And perhaps we need to look at ourselves and say, hey, are we giving them that example? Are we saying, because I know a lot of the parents, that we've been through this already, and I think it's crap. The fact is that they're watching R-rated movie, and they're watching 18-plus movies. These are bad movies. They're violent, they're sexually explicit movies, and they're full of drugs, and we've been through that already. So hey, you can hear my phone in the background there, but you're more important, so that's who I'm going to talk to right now. And I just want to say that just watch what you're doing. Watch what we're letting our children doing. First and foremost, we're their example. They don't need another friend. They need somebody where they can come home and be safe with. I'm Patty Pilling. I'm the Best Life Mom. And leave your comments here. Hey, it might not always be things that you like to hear, but let's chat about that. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.